Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a deadlift day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated, but let's get over to the pulling. Today is the heaviest week in my wave. We did 555, which is 95% of my training max, not my true max, and got 5 reps. Not gonna lie, today I'm feeling this cut. This was heavy. You know, people are always like, man, you look like you had another rep or two in the tank when I do these. Today, I did not. I felt like it was a 5 rep max. I felt like on this set, it was everything that I had to get that 5th rep. You know, and again, that's kind of why I've said I'm not going to max out at my regional meet. I'm going to save that for higher events because the cutting, I probably can't afford to do true maxes after cutting like this, and then I'll have several months of no cutting, you know, before I do higher events. But watch this. I mean, every rep on this is hard, right? Every single rep, you can tell it's heavy. I felt all of them, all 5 of them. And I got to that 5th one, you know, held it at the top, and I'm just like, I'm done. I mean, and it looks pretty good, but every one of those felt close to a max. Like all 5 of those reps felt more than 90% of my max. Now, I elected afterwards of kind of keeping with some of the stuff that Wendler says with this, that you can do a little less volume sometimes on the deadlifting. I did 3 by 10. I pulled the belt, by the way, after the first set. I'm doing these stiff leg. As I've said before, I'm not worried about getting the extra quad drive. I have a full serious quad day. We're doing a lot of quad volume. I'm not worried about making my quads grow so much from this. Keeping in mind, the deadlift builds quads. I don't know why people think it doesn't or why quads can't be a weak link on the deadlift. But I'm trying to make this more of a posterior chain day. You guys are going to see me do more and more of that. Like, there's always going to be some overlap. These will never be true body part splits because even my, you know, my leg days, there's obviously glute and it is leg dominant, but there's going to be stuff like that. My deadlift day is going to have some quad work because it's a deadlift day. Deadlifts themselves, all deadlifts build quads. It's just that it will be very posterior chain dominant, and I've got to get that posterior chain up and moving again. I've done really well with the volume deadlifting, but I've got to do my glute ham raises. I need to make sure my low back glutes, hamstrings, are as thick as possible because I'm feeling it. Like if I were to base this current set compared to the others, my deadlift may have regressed a hair. Like, it's plug it into a calculator. That says my max is only like 5 or 645. All right, some of these others suggested higher. All right, I need to stay on top of that. I need to make sure that those hamstrings and glutes are super strong. So I really do need to make this a dedicated posterior chain day. I really do. So what do? We go back to our staples that originally got my deadlift up past 600. All right, what are they? Glute ham raise, reverse hypers. But I will say those beltless ones felt good. The other reason I took that belt off, you guys noticed, so like that belt looks shorter. Yeah, I finally got my Inzer medium on. I've lost enough body fat to put on the medium. I own 2 Inzer belts, as you guys can tell that one's shorter. You know, because I'm that poor that I own multiple Inzer belts. You know, people come up with this nonsense. I'm not even going to get into that stupidity. But I've had that Inzer belt well over a year, and I've never been able to put it on because I wasn't sure what sizes I needed originally, and I bought multiples. It's my first time really wearing it, but I'm able to get it on now. And as I get leaner still, I'm going to have to switch to that medium. I don't know after carbing up, after making weight at a meet, if I can squeeze it on. I might have to go with the next size up, the large. For now, I'll figure it out. But I had that medium on, and I managed to get it on for the deadlifting. But again, the beltless stiff legs, they felt good. And again, we're going to just blow that posterior chain up. People are going to say, well, what about the rest of your back? I'm going to make my press day a dedicated back and bicep day. Even though it's technically overhead press first, we're working the whole shoulder girdle. We're going to do it that way. And of course, I'm going to keep pull-ups in on my bench day. But the press day is going to be a lot more back and biceps. I'm going to actually do chins, rows, curls. Okay, and here's what we're going to see. I'm going to do 3 to 4 exercises every workout. That's where we're going to cap it. I'll probably do a lot of sets of leg raises on squat day. Maybe it's what I'm thinking about doing with all this. But I'm splitting this stuff up a little bit more because I need the recovery. We're getting sufficient volume. And I'm not as worried about grips. People are like, well, what about all the grip from the pull-ups every workout? I'm doing dead hangs again. I'm doing some farmer's walks. And so I think, just having a couple of pull days is fine. If I just do pull-ups on bench day and then chins on overhead press day with some rowing and stuff, I think we'll be good. Especially considering I'm doing the dead hangs without straps. Doing a little bit of weighted carries more and more. All right, because I'm doing a lot of conditioning. So a lot of this volume is going to be, 10 to 15 sets of dedicated sets a week towards each muscle. But again, this needs to be posterior chain. I really need my deadlift day to keep that stronger because I'm almost concerned that I'm losing hamstring strength and stuff. Now, we can see here, this is the first time I've done reverse hypers in quite a while. Now my cuts really show it, I think. Again, we're seeing that at different angles. I think the ab work shows it the most in the mornings when I do those morning ab sets every now and then. I'm going to do less of those because I don't need that much direct ab work, especially if I do quite a bit on squat days. I don't need to do like 4 or 5 of those every week in the future. I might cut down to just doing a couple of those, and then it'll give us a check-in. You guys can kind of see where I'm at first thing in the morning. But reverse hypers, I went with just 135 and I did 5 sets of 25, super strict. I honestly feel like the reverse hyper hits my glutes. If I were to talk about bodybuilder nonsense, mind-muscle connection, where we feel DOMs. The only exercise that has ever given me glute DOMs in my entire life is the reverse hyper, by the way. Ever. It's also the only exercise I ever feel my glutes on. All right, even though we know all these other exercises build glutes. And people say, but you've done like reps with 585 on glute bridges. We watched you do 5 by 10 on hip thrusts with like 405. Yeah, they still don't give me glute DOMs. Not saying that DOMs is everything, but this is the only exercise that's ever given me glute DOMs. But I also want to make sure that low back is healthy and strong. Okay, again, I've been cutting. I've lost 31 pounds so far in the last year. I'm pretty sure about all of it has been body fat. I don't think I've lost any real muscle. I think it's been nothing but fat loss. I may have even gained a small amount of muscle in there. This is where we're getting at risk of injury, guys. You got to watch that stuff. I need to make sure those erectors are strong, those tendons are strong. So a little bit of high rep on this stuff will help build up those tendons. It'll build that work capacity, that recovery in my low back, help build my glutes. So we're just going to come back through and start really bulletproofing the posterior chain. So my deadlift day is going to be a posterior chain day. So it's not going to be like people think, oh, you have a leg day. No, I mean, I have a squat day with squat accessories. Deadlift is going to be a posterior chain day. So we're really going to hammer these things hard. Going to hammer them real hard with quality volume, quality exercise selection. I have all this equipment. I'm going to use it. Again, people are like, you have so much equipment you don't use. Well, some of it I don't need it. These are examples right here of things that are going to help me. Now, people say, why not that belt squat? Because I want to do goblet squats for now. Could I replace those goblet squats with that belt squat again, though? Anytime I want? You bet. And I might do that at certain points. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.